And now it's the moment to show you the selection of the film. The film will be listed in alphabetical order. So we start with AEIOU, the Schnelle, Alphabet der Liebe. It is the fourth film by actor and filmmaker Nicolette Krebitz. As in her previous film, Wild, Krebitz works with editor Bettina Böhler to shape a story that breaks with the linearity to connect with the subjectivity of the main character. This impossible love affair between a thief and a lady much is about learning how to follow the heart and not pay attention to what society dictates. In 2017, summer 1993 was presented at the festival in Generation. Carla Simón had enchanted us with her young protagonist. She's now back with the long-awaited Alcarrás, which takes us again to a rural area in Catalonia, Spain. Like many other villages, Alcarrás is a place where tradition and innovation often collide, much in the same way as wishes and actions by different generations. Claire Denis was one of our guests for the 70th anniversary program back in 2020. This is her first time in the Berlin competition. Shot and set during the pandemic and written along with Christine Angot, this love triangle brings Juliette Binoche back to Denis' world. Along her, a great cast composed not only by Vincent Landon, but also Grégoire Collin, Bulogier and Mati Diop. Along with a successful career in theater, Phyllis Nagy has written Carol for Todd Haynes and made a successful TV debut with the film Mrs. Harris. Call Jane, her feature film debut, is set in the 60s, a time when abortion was illegal in the US. Elizabeth Banks plays Joy, a bourgeois housewife who finds help in a group of activists led by an always charismatic Sigourney Weaver. Drii Winter. This film is set in a remote mountain village near the Gotthard in Switzerland and performed by local non-professionals. It is the second film by Michael Koch. This is the result of a 3-year-long process of research, casting and writing that eventually led him to embrace the reality of alpine pasture life. Un été comme ça. A year after his pandemic movie, Hygiène Sociale, Denis Côté is back in international competition. Shot in documentary style and carried by emotionally intense performances, Un été comme ça is the diary of summer in an isolated countryside therapy group for women with sex addictions. 2 years after winning the best doc of the festival, Cambodian writer and filmmaker Rithy Panh is back in competition with another non-fictional movie. Everything Will Be Okay is an apocalyptic moral tale, where very little is okay. It has been made with the same team as The Missing Picture, including the great sculptor Sarit Mang, which is the creator of the figurines. 10 years after winning the Golden Bear, Paolo Taviani, for the first time without his brother, is back to Berlin with another film that mixes fiction and reality. Carried by Nicola Piovani's soundtrack, very free in its structure and inspired by a short novel from Pirandello, Leonora presents the journey of the ashes of the great dramaturg, from home to his homeland in Sicily during the aftermath of World War II. In 2012, Sister was awarded with a special Silver Bear. Now Ursula Meier is back in competition with another tale, again filled by Agnès Godard. Along with Valeria Bruni Tedeschi, the lead is taken by Stéphanie Blanchou, who also scored the music, and Deli Spagnolo. Going back and forth between comedy and drama, La Ligne puts at the center of the plot the thin line that at once divides and unites family members. It is the third time for an Indonesian film in competition at the festival, but it is the first time for a South Asian female director. Kamila Andini's fourth film is based on an autobiographical novel set in the late 60s, at the time of a political upheaval that will lead the country into a 32-year-long dictatorship. Quoting the word of the filmmaker, Nana is about that era, but also about secrets and whispers, how often women especially hide things and keep them secret or tell them quietly. Les Passagers de la Nuit tells the story of a family in the 80s, an apartment with big windows facing the brutalist tower built in Paris a decade before. After her husband has left her, Elizabeth spent sleepless nights listening to the radio, when finally decides to take charge of her life. Mikhaël Hers' fifth film, written with Maud Améline, Charlotte Gainsbourg played the lead, but along with her we have Emmanuel Béard and Noé Habitat. 6 years after Safari and 10 after the end of the Paradise trilogy, Seidel is back with another journey to the south. This time closer to Austria, the Italian Riviera. But it's winter time, and as you see, the weather is foggy and the hotels are empty except for old vacationers. For the leading role, Seidel cast Michael Thomas, as Richie Bravo, a singer gigolo, delivers a performance to be remembered. Rabien Cournaz gegen George W. Bush. Winner of a Silver Bear in 2013, Andreas Dresen's fifth film in competition stars the Turkish-German stand-up comedy artist Meltem Kaptan. As Rabie Kurnaz, the mother of Murat, who is unjustly imprisoned in Guantanamo, she contributes to Dresen's personal tribute to ordinary heroes. At her side is Alexander Scheer, who played the lead in Gundermann, Dresen's previous hit. Before making her debut as a filmmaker, Natalia Lopez Gallardo has edited films by Carlos Regadas and Amata Escalante. Perfectly rendered in wide-framed images, mixing realism with dreams and metaphors, Robe of Gems create a special feeling of suspension of reality, confronting the viewer with a violence that is as frightening as mostly invisible. We're happy to have back one of our beloved filmmakers and one of the most coherent yet innovative storytellers in contemporary cinema. Shot again in the outskirts of Seoul with his usual accomplices, including our return in front of the camera by Kim Min-hye, Hong's new feature, The Novelist Film, celebrates the beauty of chance encounters, but also the importance of being truthful in the dishonest world of film. Un año, una noche. This film stars a great couple of actors, Noémie Merlan and Nawal Perez Biscayart. This film is based on a book and on conversation with survivors from Bataclan terrorist attack. It's the new film by San Sebastian winner Isaki La Cuesta, which opts for a fragmented narrative, constantly blurring imaginary and reality. For this film, La Cuesta has decided to work with Irina Lubchansky. We shot almost all the film at close distance with the main characters. Lee Ryu-jun, Rivers Road, was selected in Generation in 2015. 2 years after, in 2017, Walking Past the Future was in Cannes' Un Certain Regard. With Return to Dust, shot in his own province in the northwest of China, he hits Berlin competition. The story revolves around a couple, two outcasts, that find common support and love in staying one close to the other. The leads are played by Hai Qing, one of the China's best-known actresses, and Wu Renlin, who is from Gansu, the same province the filmmaker is from, and plays for the first time the lead. And then, of course, the selection will be completed by the previously announced Peter von Kant by François Ozon, a freely adaptation from the well-known Rainer Fassbinder, The Bitter Tears of Peter von Kant. And of course, we are looking forward to seeing you, as Mariette said, safe and sound here in Berlin from February 10th to go along with this great journey with films and culture and entertainment.